It's been 1 month and I know it's true when I said that I have a crush on you. 3 weeks since you joined my stream, and to anyone who didn't know, it was more than it seemed. 2 weeks since we dropped the bomb. I wish I could have asked you to prom. Last week, you threw out your voice, but if anyone asked me, you'd still be my choice.
Oh my god, dude, what the hell?
It's been a month. It's officially been a month as of yesterday. And a great big hey, howdy, hey to all of you goofy goobers out there. Welcome back to Animanic with Comic Auzi and DF, where we talk about pretty much any piece of media, as long as it's animated. Animanic. I'm good at intros. I'm really good at this. Oh, man. Opalescent Diamond Strongheart says, congratulations on our relationship. That's awesome. Did they hop over here from your channel or something? Because that name is, like, again, I see a lot of silly names in my chat sometimes, but I do wonder.
Oh, okay, so I may have shared the link on my channel.
No, that's fine. Well, that's probably why we're pushing 8 people. Man, 8 is the concurrent viewer, 7 is the concurrent viewer. It just dropped a concurrent viewer song. That's a Alexis, play Despacito.
It has been a month. Well, good thing I sent something in the mail then. Keep an eye out for it.
I will. Damn, you don't have to go all out for me like that. But on the topic
it's not fancy, but I sent something.
Well, on the topic of love and dogs, we are going to be watching the 1961 Disney classic 101 Dalmatians. Our familiarity with this movie is variable, but everybody go and find a copy of it. As you can see, I'm watching from home media, but you can find it on Disney Plus with no warning at the front, so that means this movie is racism free. That's basically what that means. But you'll probably see a little tag in the corner that says depicts smoking, because, you know, that is a thing that happens. But they don't have to give a whole 10-second warning for smoking. Otherwise, they'd have to give a 10-second warning in front of, what, fucking Saving Mr. Banks, because there was smoking in that, too.
Yeah,
if only
not even just the villain smokes in here.
That's
not just the villain who smokes.
That is also true. But on the topic of the movie, this is definitely one I enjoyed growing up with. Like, if I didn't love dogs before this movie, I certainly did after this movie, because this movie is just so freaking adorable.
According to my parents, this was, before I went into my Disney princess phase. Like,
yeah,
I say most girls, not all girls. Yeah, this was the movie I would ask my mom and dad to play over and over again. It was the puppies, I don't know.
It's not too surprising, because this film, I mean, like, Lady and the Tramp was definitely a more adult film, I would definitely say, despite the fact that it featured, talking dogs as the main characters.
Yeah, that might be why I liked it more when I was going on middle school, or like, oh, I love this movie.
But in terms of, like, a movie that can capture the appeal of pet owners, like, in a general sense, like, whether you're old or young, this movie is a pet owner's movie right here. And, like, I can imagine there's a lot of dog owners who would love to have 101 of any dogs or animals of any kind, just being super adorable, I'm sure there are people who imagine having their own Dalmatian plantation, as it were.
Yeah, and we're about to watch the movie with one of Disney's most outrageous villains who does not have any magic.
That is true. She definitely has the bigger personality of a lot of the older villains. Definitely very loud, very brash, and not Eleanor Audley, but definitely a great vocal performance. Just a lot of loud just charisma.
Yeah.
Also, for someone who lives in England, her British accent is very subtle compared to a lot of the other characters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there, but it's kind of underplayed. Like, when you hear Jasper and Horace, they're very Cockney, and you can definitely tell in Roger, Anita, and the maid, their British accents are fairly pronounced, and then Cruella de Vil's British accent is down at the bottom. And then I think at the top of the British accent tier is the Colonel, the dog, but we'll get to that when we see the movie. So everybody grab your copy, grab a snack, and we're going to go ahead and begin this movie. Now, on Disney Plus, it goes straight to the Buena Vista logo, but my copy has the classic 90s Disney Castle logo. So there's a bit of a power outage, so we're going to try our resync, okay? So everybody, get your copy of 101 Dalmatians ready so that we can sync our copies. But remember, the Disney logo at the front in 3, 2, 1, go. Classic 90s Disney logo. I like it, honestly.
Hey, what were we saying before we were cut off?
I don't remember. We did have a bit
something
of a
about the
power
voice
edge.
actors.
Yes. Jay
So,
Padamani,
yeah,
Thurles Ravenscroft, and Barbara Luddy, as we saw previously.
Yeah, and Ben Wright, this is the first time he voices for Disney. We'll see him again in The Jungle Book, and his last role was in The Little Mermaid. I know, it's rare you get somebody from the Silver Age and the Renaissance.
Dalmatians. Love the way they do that to the music. This opening
very
credit
rare
sequence, you know, there's something to be said for this thing. Yeah, I guess they did do that 100th anniversary thing. Anyway, but like, Fred Warlock, Martha Wentworth.
No.
So, like, this whole sequence is a lot of fun. And when they did their direct-to-video 101 Dalmatians 2, they did a similar intro. Man, do not have a seizure
I'm pretty sure we had Queenie Leonard in some other movie. Was it Alice in Wonderland?
Could have been.
Because that name sounds familiar. Queenie Leonard.
Oof, man, a lot of the flashing on screen. I hope they gave you guys a warning for that up in the upper left corner for this movie, because, like, this opening credit sequence alone be enough for a seizure warning, I imagine. And then representing the music with George Bruns.
It's definitely one of the more creative ones of the Silver Age.
Orchestration and the songs.
Yeah.
Story by Bill Pete, based on the book by Dottie Smith. Oof! Wow, that was a flasher. Directing animation: Milt Kahl, Frank Thomas, Ollie Johnston. Only 6 of the 9 guys are leading the animation on this movie. Yeah.
I have not read the book, but I listened to one of those CDs which kind of act like a radio adaptation.
Wow.
So I know the things they've changed, like
I don't know
how Pongo's wife was actually named Mrs.
Ouch.
and Perdita was actually the wet nurse. So for this, I think they just combined the wife and the wet nurse into one character.
And the background, can we talk about the background art for a minute? There is some real stylish background art. Like the modern Mickey Mouse shorts take a lot of influence from this film in particular for its background art aesthetic.
Yes, Scribe is right. Cruella was married in the book. Who the hell would have married her? I have no idea.
Who would fucking fuck Cruella de Vil, as we said once upon a time?
Speaking of Once Upon a Time, that's actually a better Cruella origin story than the movie Cruella is. They give Cruella magic powers, but it's still a much better backstory. And I believe this was the first Disney movie, I believe, that took place in contemporary times.
1961 England, yeah.
Yeah, because even Lady and the Tramp took place like in the turn of the century.
Well, give Walt some credit. He really loved his hometown. I mean, if Main Street wasn't already some indication.
No, I mean, because every other movie's been set in the past.
Funny enough.
Wait, or is Dumbo?
God.
I'm not sure about Dumbo, actually. And Bambi, you can't really be sure. Bambi, you can't be sure what takes place.
Now, this begins the Xerox section of the Silver Age, also known as the sketchy era, and it's because of the fact that in order to get the spots on all the Dalmatians, they used a process where they would scan in the pencils that the animators drew, and they would scan it. They would scan it, and then they would print that with ink onto celluloid, and then the painters would paint the printed ink celluloids. that's why it turns out so sketchy, because it's an ink replication of pencil lines.
The age of chivalry. Sorry, those magazines. He's like, I don't get it.
I don't understand. I just don't.
I don't understand it either, doggy. I mean, I get he's a dog.
Also, okay, let's talk about this character design for a minute, because the animation and the designs of these humans and their dogs is just so beautiful. And it really shows the art of animation, just how...
Yeah. No, I did find it funny, this one line in Cruella, like, don't you think it's weird how much owners look like their dogs? You're an idiot. That was a funny moment.
I kind of wonder about the process they did for that curly effect, though. It's just jiggling all over the place.
It looks like a bunch of pencil lines just like...
I guess, yeah, you'd be right.
Way too young, Pongo.
Yeah. God. Yes, and they did that because the animators would single-handedly be responsible for drawing where the spots are. And then all the... and then you wouldn't have the cleanup artists having to trace them perfectly. It's like, oh god. The animators just have to worry about the placement of the spots. And that's why in some cases you can still see some construction lines, because some of the animators didn't, like, clean up because animators are so used to someone else cleaning up their work. But it also creates a neat aesthetic, and I think that might be why they decided to design the backgrounds the way they did. Some of the completed animation tests came back the way they did, and they were like, "Why don't we just
music?
Why don't we just make the background art match the animation?" At least that's a theory. That's my theory anyway.
Yeah.
And now he's been thrown off his whole schedule.
Yeah. So I'm aware of how the book goes. This whole opening sequence was purely Disney's invention. We didn't see how they met in the book. They were already together.
I think it's nice to... But I do understand Walt's angle of wanting to show the meet cute so that we can sympathize better with our characters, you know?
You didn't see the 90s live action remake, did you?
Not yet. I've kind of been meaning to, because I hear Glenn Close's performance is just insane.
Oh, it is. And
speaking of,
the dogs don't talk in that one.
There they are again. Like, you never thought you'd see them again.
But I loved how they did the Mew cute there. I mean, there was some tribute to this in the live action remake, but it was also...
I want to say that was Milt Kahl's work, just because of how solid those drawings were back there.
Yeah, hippie painting. A Disney hippie.
Well, it was just the beginning of the 60s. In London.
The beatniks. See what I mean?
Oh, wow.
So much smoking in this movie.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see like, I'm seeing the way the pencils are moving on specific parts of the body, because the animator must have drawn the head on a separate piece of paper. Like, and then they print... And then I guess they scan it in, and fuck, man, how do you even edit that without the aid of computers?
Can I just say, I love how Anita wears glasses. They're written glasses, but I love how she has them.
Yeah.
You know.
And here they are.
I'm trying to think of a moment prior to this movie where we had a pretty character who wore glasses. You know what I mean?
That is an excellent question. You're gonna love how cheeky he's being. I love And on that topic of dogs looking a lot like their owners, you can see some resemblance between Pongo and Roger, and then Anita
totally
and
checking him out.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently it's canon that Anita's last name is Darling.
Ah.
Anita, darling.
See, like, the kind of face that Pongo just made is a face I could see Roger making. He's a doggy on a mission.
You know, this is honestly one of the more realistic me cutes. I'm just saying. It's a mess.
Imagine.
Whoops.
Ponga's like, well, I guess I kind of pushed this a bit far. I love his sheepish little grin there, too. She's so snooty, too.
Oh. Is and one day you'll laugh about this and tell your kids all about it.
It's just what was it? Just a piece of paper or something? Because if
it was their handkerchiefs. Look, it's England. They have their handkerchiefs.
Yeah, fair enough. And then, because the whole...
I mean, you could honestly say that there a fair amount of time passed, you know?
Oh, certainly. But, like, the point is kind of like Up, where they meet as kids and then we just jumpstart to the wedding, because it's like, the whole point is just to introduce them, as opposed to, you know, make a whole thing of it. We're really setting up the story.
Honestly, that's kind of what most people can afford these days. And hardly that.
Just a nice
little houses.
Just a nice little chocolate bar wedged right between two other homes.
Yeah, like I said, the wife's name was Mrs. in the book. And Perdita was the wet nurse. Of course, I am wondering how they're able to afford a housekeeper.
They
say they can scarcely afford to feed themselves, so I'm kind of wondering why they have a housekeeper.
Well, I think that's after the puppies, though.
Well, I mean, I do like how the live action says that Nanny. The reason she's called Nanny was because she was Anita's nanny when she was a child.
Like that.
That's why they call her that.
That animation on him, again.
I know.
No, I'm watching the facial expressions. I'm watching the facial expressions. That is definitely Milk Call leading the animation on Roger.
You can definitely hear the Grimsby in him. Ben Wright does not do the singing voice, I should point out.
Not much of a singer.
No.
Now that's a sound effect I think we've heard before, right? Or at least we'll hear it again.
Yeah. Add 3 decades and you got Grimsby. Now, you see, you could kind of hear the voice change.
As a kid, I never noticed, so that's a compliment to the casting director, if nothing else. You know, it's like, let's find someone who sounds like him, but if he were singing.
The best villain songs that's actually not sung by the villain.
And you might notice not much of a British accent, but you'll also notice that some British people singing don't sing. Like, when they sing, you don't hear the Britishness in their voice when they sing. So that's not necessarily a fault on the movie. It's actually kind of art imitating life in a way. And I love how the smoke, whenever she's smoking specifically, is green. It's like, even Roger smokes, but his smoke isn't green. It's like, we
don't talk about Cruella.
Wait a minute. It sounded like he was using a mute in that trumpet, but they didn't draw a mute in the trumpet. That's weird.
Maybe because they wanted to sound wonkier, like he's really forcing the sound.
Well, I guess they didn't. No, I guess. Oh yeah, no. What they need to do is he has to be holding a plunger over the end for that sound. Actually, not a mute. I mean, there's a cup mute that you put directly in the thing, and the plunger mute is something you have to hold over the end to get that cupped up sound without being too
Cruella,
tinny.
no one wants furs anymore.
It's all about faux. It's all about animal kindness. Oh, God.
I'd like to think that they actually were kind of friends in school, but you know, she's like that. friend who doesn't care.
And they very much, like...
I mean, I'm sure there was some attachment. I'm sure there was some attachment, at least enough for Anita to put up with all this BS.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Because, like, you'd think they'd have grown apart just how different they are. Ugh.
Yeah, and maybe Cruella... I mean... one thing that I did like about the Cruella movie, they showed that, like, Anita was, like, Cruella's only friend in school.
Even she can't put up with her. I love him mockingly wearing a fur scarf. Like a mink. Oh, man.
Well, hang on there, Roger. You're getting a little forceful there. She kind of likes it though. In the end. Yeah.
Yes.
You're an idiot.
It's like
forever.
It's like when Cruella calls him an idiot derogatory, when Anita calls him an idiot affection.
Yeah, like they are a married couple.
They truly are. They're adorable. Aww. They're really good at making dogs. Because, like, here's the thing. Like, even in real life, dogs have, like, very human emotions from what we can tell. Like, when they are growling, they do, and they sneer, they do look like they're sneering. Yeah. And when dogs wag their tail and they open their mouths with their tongues hanging out, they look like they're smiling. Dogs...
Yeah, maybe...
And they whimper just like a cry. Yeah. It's like, you can tell dogs' emotions more easily than many other animals.
Yeah, maybe that's why they decided ultimately in the 90s remake not to have the dogs talk, and you just kind of based on direction, music, and just you could see the emotion in them. I mean, there were a couple instances where CGI was used for like stunt purposes, but other than that,
yeah. I feel like talking animal movies prefer to be animated because the CGI mouths were kind of novel when Stuart Little did it, but then like...
I think it was Babe that really kickstarted that.
Yeah, but my first exposure to it was definitely Stuart Little.
And even Babe looks a whole lot better than Lion King.
I love the leaping up into his arms. Again, it really is showing just how similar these two are.
Okay, so this scene coming up, this is based on the author's experience with her Dalmatians.
Aww.
And having puppies. They didn't have 15, I think they had like 8.
Was it still the same, like, oh no, and then oh hallelujah moment?
Yes.
Aww.
Yes, that actually happened with the author's puppies. And she did have a friend who said they make excellent coats.
Ugh, God. Now there's Cruella for you.
I mean, she was joking, but...
I love that like, wobbly-legged look. Why does he look exhausted? It's not like he went through labor.
I hate to tell you this, babe. It's a manly thing that they're,
I mean,
very,
I know that
they're able to.
I know that postpartum can affect the man as well, but like, I don't know.
No, that's not what I mean. Like, they're just like, oh my God, I did that. I had one job though. It's a manly thing. Sorry, we're joking during this pretty serious scene.
Well, because I think all of us know how.
I'm glad Disney kept this part of the book in here because
it's. I mean, Walt. Like I said a few streams back, Walt had always wanted to do a movie, like To Kill a Mockingbird, but because he had niched himself into family-oriented entertainment, he never truly was able to. So he could probably take whatever intense or adult thing he could fit in a movie and do it, you know? So if something this upsetting like even potentially upsetting could happen.
I mean, it's
then,
upsetting to anyone who watches for the first time. They're like, "What? They killed off a puppy?"
I was like, no. Oh, what a fucking entrance!
I know that enough to terrify everybody as a kid. That Cruella, the original jump scare.
Also, we gotta give credit to Cruella's design for being such a great comedy design. She looks like a fucking skeleton, and then she's got this giant coat that looks like it would just crush her under its weight. It's great. Up. Well then, never mind.
Yeah. I mean, if I like to go with the backstory that Nanny stays with Anita out of loyalty.
That right there is an iconic villain laugh. Look at how mad he is. He's literally steaming. But I'm bah. And
that's honestly relatable.
As if they didn't look similar enough, right?
Now, it's interesting. She was willing to go the legal route for this. I mean, questionably, but
yeah,
she was going to buy them.
He kind of portrays the idea that he was always kind of afraid to stand up to her, so. Like this man, like you can see the little Adam's apple thing that often scared characters get sometimes. Like, he's very much terrified of standing up to her, but he's holding his ground. I love it. That is an absolute Chad. And then...
Okay. Now, yeah, interesting about Cruella is that she didn't need to take these particular puppies.
No.
She was just buying them as part of her grand scheme.
She's petty.
As she did with the other puppies. But she took them anyway because of this.
Fucking petty. You know? That's her whole shtick.
I mean, her whole plan was evil to begin with, but...
Yeah.
There was her... You know what? She wouldn't have gotten caught if she hadn't made it personal.
It's very... Yeah. The thing is, like... Because, like, evil is one thing, but then you combine evil with petty. Oh, God, they're so cute! Little pink nosies.
Oh, yeah, right. I like how Cruella looks in the first spin-off series as well. Like, looking close to this, but also looking stylized for the cartoon.
Yeah. I think even that original cartoon took a little bit of a United Production
I used to rent... I used to rent the 101 Dalmatians Christmas Carol a lot.
Huh.
Yeah, Cruella seeing her past, present, and future. Apparently, as a child, she wanted a puppy. Still a better backstory than Cruella.
Yeah. God.
She always wanted a puppy for Christmas, but her parents were never there. And they never gave her a puppy.
I love that this whole...
Patch. There's a reason Patch is like one of the most memorable puppies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, aside from the patch over his eye, he's got spunk. He's got spunk. Yeah, Squad, that is a sweet line.
Get it out. Which essentially means cowardly.
Yeah. Everyone's seen their own dogs do this.
You know, they don't say it in this movie, but Lucky was the one who
I mean,
was stillborn.
I think ooh, paint color mismatch there. The tails were on a different piece of
Rolly. I always loved Rolly. I always thought Rolly was the cutest to me.
Does he even know what an elephant looks like?
He's a kid. Maybe he sounds like that kid who would always go, "I'm hungry." No, like, feed me now. Aunt Rolly is precious and relatable.
God, this TV show in and of itself has a lot of personality in it. It's no wonder why it became part of the basis for the sequel.
All the jump scares in this movie.
Oh! Lucky spots are like a horseshoe.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And actually,
well, it was hard to look. Everyone's moving so much.
Yeah, I noticed it around the last shot he was in. And what's really funny is that the thing is the horseshoe, and of course this cliffhanger.
Well, it's hanging from a cliff.
It's more clever than that, Bella, because here's the thing: the horseshoe is like you can see it right there. It's the horseshoe with the two ends of the horseshoe pointed up toward Lucky's head, which in some cultures you have to hang the horseshoe where the two ends are pointing up so that the good luck doesn't spill out. So that's even more. So that's doubly clever.
Yeah, I hate it when they spell things in front of kids thinking they won't understand, but they're like, "Hey, I want to go too."
Yeah. That jingle.
A-L-K.
I mean, it'll get stuck in your head.
Canine Crunchies.
You just better hope that the corporation is spelled with a C.
Yeah.
For the Canine Crunchies Corporation.
Yeah, Pongo and Purdy. Pongo and Purdy definitely go up there as like best Disney parents.
Yeah.
Aside from being good parents to 15 kids.
What is the obsession with
they
spelling
go through for their parents?
C words with a K? I just don't get it. I love how that. I always love how that guy looked so incensed by having the TV turned off on him. It's like, excuse me, I wasn't done with my pitch. I wasn't done with my sale.
I know. And like, hey.
And here are the bastards.
J. Pat O'Malley.
Mm-hmm.
I remember people talking about the Cruella movie, and they were saying, "So what? Like that there was a gay character? Like, oh, do they mean like the henchmen being gay together? I'm like,
exactly.
No, they're brothers. They're brothers, literally.
I mean, you can even see it in like they have the exact same nose.
Well, they're not in Cruella, but never mind. Also, they have the same voice.
Again, showing the range on a voice actor is when they play two characters in the exact same scene. All right,
he played 4 different characters in Alice in Wonderland in the same song too.
That is true. He very much did. All sounding very different from one another too.
Well, aside from Tweedledum and Tweedledee, but that was intentional.
Yeah. Actually, did he also play the oyster? I wouldn't be surprised. Like Mother Oyster? Like, the sea is nice.
I
Take
think
my advice.
so.
Because it sounded like he totally would have, could have, should have.
I mean, technically, if it's Tweedledee and Tweedledum narrating everything, then probably.
That
Okay, we're getting bent backwards.
So I love their shadows there. It's so intimidating.
And the R is inserted in the wrong place.
Yeah. Obviously,
okay,
that one's the more
good.
clever.
He's very good.
He could probably. Oh man, he could probably sell you. He could probably sell you the moon. He could probably sell you a bridge. Like that guy. He's just so clever.
Who says that the classic Disney ladies weren't spunky?
Yeah. Wait, is this? No. This is definitely a character who I could definitely see, trying to keep forgetting her name. I could definitely see Verna Felton playing her.
Well, it's not her.
It's not her. But even the caricature of her kind of resembles other Verna Felton characters.
I think Verna Felton... No, wait. I think I remember which one's Barbara Luddy in this one, and I'm just going to check.
All right. Again,
actually, Is Verna Felton in this one? No, I don't think so.
No, I didn't see her in the credits. Her name probably would have stuck out to me if
breaking the streak.
Yeah. Man, and then she had to go and land on all the instruments. Man, how's Roger gonna write a new song now?
Oh, right. That's where I know Nanny from.
Hmm?
Okay, so Nanny, we'll see her in the next movie.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she does play Madame Mim. I can hear it now.
Yeah.
Jasper and Saul
Anita
in the book.
Dearly is her last name.
It makes the front page. God damn.
Love how she does it so softly too. Like it sounds like regular narrator, and then oh yeah, it's her.
God. Absolute bitch. Like, God. It's like she does not give a shit.
You're right.
And her phone
right.
is literally Satan. God damn.
Rover. Okay, it says Barbara Luddy played Rover, so I think she played one of the puppies.
Probably.
Actually, girly voice.
Isn't Rover one of the puppies bought from the store that the cat talks to? I think.
Oh
Yeah.
Well, the one that he calls Rover.
Yeah.
Or maybe. We might hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely Milt Call's work on Roger there. God, the angry face.
And the fact that she's rubbing it in their faces, too. She really is petty. This is how petty she is. She'll kidnap the puppies and then she will fake sympathy.
He's just not very happy.
You know, funnily enough, Cruella actually doesn't do as much in the book.
Okay, that was definitely
she's still she's still the instigator of all the events in the book, but we don't see her as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That last shot with the specific particular angle on Anita's face when she's shaking her head and talking at the same time definitely strikes me as Milt Call's work there.
Oh, you're right, Blue Heart Tattoo. It's very smart for Cruella to go to Anita to get information about the police so that she could be one step ahead of them. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I thought she just wanted to rub it in their faces.
It's... God, again, they're so good at showing all the emotions with these dogs.
This is Taken before Taken. I've not seen Taken. So I
have a particular set of skills. Yes.
Yeah, and these parents who are willing to go do anything to get their babies back.
If it's too cold, why are Dalmatians, dogs with some of the shortest fur, out on a walk? Just answer me that, Perdita. Off they go. Yes, I do, actually. Look at them go. God. Look at them go, God. They've gotten better at their quadruped animation. Like, you know, like they're just, like, again, I call back to Melody Time and those horses in Once Upon a Lone December, or like Once Upon a Winter Time, or whatever it was.
Winter Time, yeah. Once Upon a December, that's not Disney.
Yeah.
Technically,
well, it is
not
now.
Disney.
But like
at the time of creation, it was not Disney. I don't count it.
But like I saw those horses like, oh, that's kind of jank. So they've gotten a lot better at their quadruped animation, like just over time. Actually, even in the same thing with Widowmaker the horse, there's better quadruped animation in that whole movie.
Puppies stolen.
Now,
he really does look like Scooby-Doo, doesn't he?
Well, again, like, if you're gonna cartoon a Great Dane, they're all gonna look fairly similar.
Yeah, but this is like when did Scooby-Doo start? 1966?
It wasn't like the 60s or 70s. Late 60s.
It was like late 60s.
Mid to late 60s.
Remember, Scooby.
Hello,
Jacques.
I think they even recycled that last animation from the movie. Ooh, wow. Did you see that background art transition? That was really slick. Where they just, like, cross-cut the background art as they're sliding up the building.
I love how it's also the same message, but with a different barker, you know?
Yeah, because you can hear that the barking is... yeah. But because they're all sending the same message. And here's Barbara Luddy's original well, no, I'm sorry.
Peggy Lee.
And
the
the bulldog.
Recolored.
Yep.
Recolored.
Slightly recolored, yeah. Oh, and there's Tramp on top of that car. You can see.
Oh my god, it is. Oh my god,
there's Lady in the Street.
Oh my god. I never noticed those two. I noticed the other ones, but I guess. I mean, they already have a lot of dogs.
They're very silhouetted.
Animation we're gonna see later. Well, maybe it's their ancestors that came over to London. I mean, sorry, descendants that came over to London.
Disney dogs assemble. The Dog Vengers, as it were, I guess.
I mean, we already have the Pixar theory where all the Pixar movies are connected. And what about the Disney theory that all Disney movies are connected?
We see a dog on a barge in the direct-to-video sequel as well. Ah. I love these two.
Yeah, dog and. I feel like that goose would later inspire the. Well, at least the animation-wise, kind of looks like with the geese and Aristocats.
Ah, yes, we do see geese
a little bit
in another animal movie.
The tail part, at least, I think carries over.
God.
Okay, you were right. Though Ravenscroft is the horse. My bad.
Yeah, because this voice sounds like a British horse version of the voice that he did for the bison head in the Country Bear Jamboree attraction, which still exists at Disney World.
I was gonna say a British Tony the Tiger.
Similar. Yeah, I mean, they're both kind of the same deep voice.
Okay, so
the Twilight Bark is great.
Tibbs, aka Pussy Willow, was apparently a female in the book.
Huh. Again, we.
Remember what I was saying? We actually got a nice cat in this one.
Yeah. We got a really good kitty here. He's such a good kitty. Also, I love Towser and the goose.
Animals seem to really get along with each other in this movie.
Yeah. I really like that, too.
Versus Lady and the Tramp, which had a whole lot of animal drama.
Yeah.
A lot of animal drama. No, here, the drama is with between the humans and the animals.
Yeah.
And I mean like the bad humans and the animals.
I love these two. We don't see them a lot, but I love them. They're so friggin' sweet.
Where was it? Like, I think it was in a bonus feature for Jungle Book that Walt Disney wasn't really much in making plot lines, but he made very memorable characters.
That is definitely true because, like most of the
it's like Shakespeare.
Again, that's why a lot of Disney films lean on a lot of gag work, a lot of comedy, because it's what animation does really well, you know?
Yeah, Disney was pretty much the Shakespeare of animation. Like, plot line, a lot of them are similar, but it's the characters that you remember.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
Nah, you're fine.
The way he says that. 15 spotted puddles stolen.
Good lord.
The accent slipping out for a second. Wait, who's voicing the Colonel? I forget.
That is a good question.
Is it Bill Thompson again, or?
I mean, there were a lot of names in the credits, so probably not.
Oh, no, wait. Okay. It's also J. Pat O'Malley.
It is. Goddamn. Oh, I should recognize that because he sounds exactly like the walrus. The time has come.
Hey.
The walrus said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Horace was not J. Pat O'Malley. That was Frederick Warlock.
Who was the what?
Now I know. Frederick Warlock. Now I know why I got confused. I knew he did two voices. I just got the wrong two voices.
Ah.
All I know is that Horace apparently has a lot of horror movie credits.
Another mention of hell. I mean, yes, but like again, mentioning hell in the same sense that Maleficent did. It's more literal than, you know, what the hell you doing here? Yeah. That's also true. Yes, Pluto was sent to hell in a cartoon. That was... Cartoons and hell have such a good relationship, you know? Like, a lot of the best of early animations were either playing with or making fun of hell, you know?
Oh yeah, that's who Queen
There's even that
was.
one... There's even that one Betty Boop cartoon, like, Hell's Bells, I think it's... Yeah, Hell's Bells.
Just looking at these cute little voices for all the puppies.
That is a reference to Figaro and Pinocchio. Not the same animation, but definitely a nice little callback animation-wise. Which Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston worked on that movie, so I wouldn't be surprised if one of the two animated that shot in Pinocchio and then this shot here. Oh! It's Barbara Letty doing a young boy sounding voice, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, listen.
I don't know. He called him Spotty, so I'm not sure.
At least I thought. Can't tell. Okay, now
I don't know. It just says Rover, and I don't know which one's Rover. Ugh. Okay, those flowers.
Yeah, wondering about that. This is a real old cartoon. And then the oof. Maybe
Dalmatians actually do watch a lot of TV.
You know, I'll give some credit for them not catching this because it is flowers, but like, come on. You gotta have someone...
I didn't even notice until now.
I mean, it's not something you notice until you know what you're looking for. So, obviously, when you're younger watching this movie, you don't really know exactly what's going on there. And now we moved on to frogs? Wait, is this an old Abiworks cartoon?
I think so.
Could be, because he had his own production studio after he left Disney briefly, where they made their own animations like Flip the Frog. And those frogs look
Bella
like...
says yes, that was Rover, so it might have been, yeah.
Ah.
The problem is we don't hear half their names.
Yeah. Love this.
Okay, so I made a mistake. Horace is not J. Pat O'Malley. It's so many voices, I forget who's who sometimes.
Yeah. Because those frogs bear a little bit of a resemblance to an early Flip the Frog design. Oh, God. Did you see the way the ears moved? They just played the animation in reverse. Jeez. Talk about cutting costs. Seriously, did Sleeping Beauty really not...
I love this gag.
Yeah.
It's
Such a simple gag, too.
Like, no, and from his perspective, he's like, what the hell? I just... Oh my god, he tried to make a sandwich with that slice of cake. You know, honestly, I respect that.
I mean, if you want to make an a la mode casserole, you probably want to do some kind of like brownie thing. Ooh.
Well,
yeah. Okay, this is a very
a la mode means you put ice cream on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You probably want some kind of like brownie or dessert casserole of some sort. That drawing.
Bake them into a pie.
Bake them in a pie. Take 4 or 20 blackbirds and bake them in a pie. Even that tiny little dog with the Great Dane has some great personality. Oh, sound the alert! He's so excitable. What's up, Danny? What's all the fuss about? Oof. What a powerful bark. I don't think we're going to see that shot again, but I love the painting of Big Ben that we had back there. Really great for, like, the fog-covered London, and it was just a great angle, too. Actually...
Okay, before we had Mr. and Mrs. Incredible going to rescue their kids, we had these two.
Yeah.
And no, Pongo doesn't even tell Purdy to go back home. He takes her along with him.
He's not...
They're a team.
I mean, they probably...
Egalitarian puck couple for the win.
Alright. Off they go.
We need to make a list of, like, most egalitarian Disney couples, you know? Actually, probably Anita and Roger. I don't know. Does Anita work in this movie? I'm not sure.
See, they did that in the remake, and because they did that in the live-action remake, they also did it on this CD-ROM game, based off of the animated movie.
And in the spin-off series. The first one, anyway.
I saw the clip from the new okay, so I want to talk about this because this is true of the car earlier as well, and we're going to see this come back in Aristocats. They are not animating those cars in the traditional sense. They're doing stop motion of a completely blank white physical sculpt of the car, and then they've painted lines across the edges. Then they filmed this. They filmed this stop motion animation of a white car on a white backdrop. And then they Xerox that like they would the pencil animations. Don Bluth would also use this trick as a notable example, like in All Dogs Go to Heaven with the bony hellboat is a good example. And I think the Amulet and Secret of Nim might use a similar technique.
That explains the look of that animation so well. Like, I don't know what to call it. The fluidity?
I think the solid nature of the drawing. Like, you notice that there's a very consistency to the shape. And here we're about to see it again with the car. Right? It's like it almost feels like CGI, but it's kind of CGI before CGI because they're just generating an image. They're using the same Xerox method they've done for all the rest of the pencil animation for the cars. Basically rotoscoping, but without the actual drawing process, you know? They basically skipped the entire process of drawing the car, you know? Aside from coming up with concepts, of course. I love the What's My Crime game. That's a lot of... This is a lot of fun.
They got creative with the TV programs here.
Again, the TV programs are just as much characters in and of themselves.
Hey!
Oof.
No, either. I didn't even catch that before. No, either. It was a British.
What's even funnier about that? Okay.
So nonchalant about this is scary.
Yeah. The alcohol content in that drink, God.
And she outright just slaps him. That's how scary she is. Like, she even scares these big lugs.
I mean, you say that, Squad, but, like, think about it. How big do they want the coats to be? And look at how small the puppies are. Again.
They say it more in the live-action film that their fur is much thicker when they're puppies.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, she asked.
It's
so
even more
what's
cruel.
Her fur like? Well, it's very thin. Oh, well, it's much thicker when she was a puppy. Oh.
Oof.
Yeah, I just love how, these guys who weren't afraid to antagonize an old lady just let this skinny woman just slap the living daylights out of them. That's how scary she is.
Yeah. This show is so funny.
I always wanted to know what it was.
Yeah.
We never find out.
I love that face. I love that face.
Yeah.
Single file.
Half a dozen coats. Probably won't get half a dozen coats. At least, I mean, the live action film, she wanted to be one big coat.
Oh, Blue Heart. No.
Makes sense.
The What's My Crime TV show is obviously an invention for the movie. That it would not have been a thing in the book at all.
It was, no.
Yeah.
No, it was the play on What's My Line.
Exactly. Which Walt Disney was actually on What's My Line.
Yeah. The book is mostly from Pongo and Mrs.'s perspective. We don't see much of these side characters until they finally make it
there's
to
the coloring
Hellboy,
error right there. You can see that the tail was on a separate piece of celluloid, so it was drop shadowing on the doggy. Oh, catch him! Oh, and
yeah. Don't feel bad for Lucky. Remember,
Lucky is lucky.
He had a complicated birth.
Yeah.
Come on, roll. Of course, it's a big one. They don't even notice all the puppies have left.
No, because there was only the one puppy in front of the TV, and they really didn't want to miss their show.
It made more sense in the live action remake that she actually had a professional Skinner to do the job. That part.
Good Lord. Okay, you grew up in Europe, so you wouldn't have been confused by that, but I was always confused, like, that's not a torch. It's a flashlight.
Yeah, yeah, yes. I mean, kind of makes sense because the torch is a source of light, and
yeah, but that's
then when flashlights get invented,
what they call it, that's what they just call it in Europe, like in England. That's what they just call it, a torch.
I still have trouble saying soccer. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then when what you guys say is just football, I say is American football.
Yeah. You and every other country in the world, though, like, love the sneaky animation. And then there goes the cat again.
This movie and its jump scares.
We just got a ton of them, don't we?
Or jump scares were a thing.
I want to think that was Milk Call, too. That was just such beautiful. Then again, I can't just say that every animation where the characters maintain a good 3D shape.
Thank you, Bella. Who I know is Brazilian. It will always be football.
Football.
I don't care. I didn't like playing either of them, so.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh. Off they go.
Yeah. Also, they're like, who uses meters and centimeters? The rest of the world, except for like 2 countries,
Yeah.
3 countries, and one of them is the United States.
Yeah, if it... man... Man, in the... Back in the room they started in. God gone it. Yes, Michaela, it is jailbreak time. God. How much more can I say about an animation than it just being beautiful? You know, really smart that the sketchier lines were left on the hairier dog here. Just really smart. Woo,
I mean, we'll see more of this type of animation as we go on into the Silver Age.
Well, the Silver Age is coming to a close pretty soon, actually.
Yeah.
A couple more movies, I think.
Yeah, but then we got like 3 at least 3 more movies after the Jungle Book that have
that are Xeroxed, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, was Winnie the Pooh like this?
Winnie the Pooh was also Xeroxed, yeah.
Okay, then 4. I left any out.
We'll see it as we go.
And
again,
we'll see that animation again.
Recycling animation from earlier in the movie. Isn't that like the only time we see both of Colonel's eyes?
and you know, we see the puppy barking animation a whole lot in this movie alone.
Nope. There it is again.
Yeah, this whole puppy barking is just on loop.
Yeah. He's a scary looking fucker.
But Patch suddenly became Lucky. Did you see that? Patch was suddenly turned into Lucky.
Oof. Bro.
Yes, angry mommy and daddy.
Yeah, do not upset a mom and dad.
Yeah. Yeah, before we had Mr. and Mrs. Incredible, we had these two who will fight for their children.
Yeah. Gotta give it up to the score for doing that wah wah there. That was great.
Oh, yeah, and apparently his name wasn't Horace in the book. It was Jasper and Saul. I don't know. I guess I thought Horace sounded better.
Or more British.
Jasper and Horace, Jasper and Saul. Yeah, it doesn't roll out the tongue as well.
Yeah.
But their names are actually Baden. Their names are actually Baden. You know, Badens.
Yeah.
Edwins. The author was really on the nose with the last names. Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
Baden. I mean, give him a break. They probably starved him.
Oof.
Twice that many. well, you know, he didn't go to math.
Nope.
Wait, some of them have collars.
I think they were just showing us as much puppies on screen as possible. Oh. Oh. Oh.
No, Scribe, I'm not discounting Thomas O'Malley and Duchess. We just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. We're getting there.
So some say that the Aristocats feels like a combination of Lady and the Tramp and 101 Dalmatians.
What, of Aristocats?
Plot-wise, it kind of does.
I'd believe it, yeah.
And we'll get to that later.
We'll get there.
There are just so many nice people in this movie. We need more good Samaritans in this world.
Again, with the car, like, and the way they gotta like do that animation.
Oh, great. I'm sorry, I can't hold it anymore. I really need the bathroom. I'll just be on mute for a sec.
All right. Also, you'll notice something else with the cars that they try to do is to match. Doggy is smart. Perfect. Nice. And off they go. Woof. You can see that they tried to give the cars as much personality as the people who drive them. Oof. Rolly, you're gonna get in more trouble than it's worth. Oh, getting kicked by a horse, yeah. And down they go. Woof. Woof woof. And whoop. Love that. Really cute. Wonder how much they cross-reference some of the animation that that some of the animators did way back in Bambi. Ah, God, that these cars. Oof.
Yeah, sadly, Cruella kind of holds to that old stereotype that all women are bad drivers.
Which we'll get the line from the delivery truck driver later. Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big thing. When cars started coming in, they're saying, oh, women shouldn't drive.
Oof.
Like, because they always get distracted with their makeup and such.
Sure. Uh-huh. Trudging along.
And then you get, like, those future old ladies from Pasadena. I mean, I say future old ladies. Because they ain't know when they get the car. And they're like, Mom! Like, I'm a road rager. Okay,
Aww,
yeah.
poor Lucky.
Ryder saying you want to get nabbed by the police. Cruella ain't one to talk. Well,
No.
the thing. They're the patsies. They're the ones who actually carried out the crime. And she's a woman. Would they have suspected Cruella?
Oh man. Here comes.
Are you still there?
Here comes Lassie, legit. Well, see.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah. That's
Cruella actually doesn't get arrested in the book either. I'll tell you how they got revenge on her later in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, pretty. I mean, not as climactic as it is in this movie, but.
Yeah. You know, absolutely.
Actually.
We gotta point out here, right? Because, like, poor Lucky. But honestly, like, yes, Ryder, it is true that the dogs are not technically painted white in this scene, but that's the magic of lighting and the art of animation. It's just a gorgeous display of a lot of talented people doing a lot of hard work. Aww.
I love how in the sequel he's just loses count all the time. And patch 105. 105?
Poor guy.
I mean, you can't blame him. It's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Aww, Rolly.
Aw.
He's like, I'm sorry, children, I don't have that many nipples.
Good lord.
I mean, there was a reason in the book that she had a wet nurse for the 15 alone. Actually, in the book, there were 97 puppies. And then plus the wet nurse. And then the wet nurse was reunited with her mate. And then it became 101.
Huh. Interesting.
I can understand them taking out that plot point, though. It takes focus away from our main dogs, you know? Punko's horrible at math. I mean, he's a dog.
Yeah.
Dogs aren't actually not much math, except to like maybe 5, and they can't, and they bark, bump, ruff, ruff.
Yeah.
Is Vernon Felton one of those cows there?
I wouldn't.
No, but it does sound like Nanny's voicing one of the cows.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so many
like
characters in this movie. Not counting the 99 puppies. There's so many characters.
I mean, that's why the voice cast credit was so long, probably.
Here we are, the iconic shot.
Yeah.
All the puppies in the snow.
Here we go, every puppy. Every little puppy. Good lord. You know, a car is one thing.
Check that voice cast again. There's so many characters.
So many people, so many characters.
I wonder they had like so many of them doubling up.
Yeah.
I think when's the last time we saw this many characters? Alice in Wonderland, perhaps.
Yeah, but even that cast was smaller, right? Actually,
I'm not counting the 99 puppies.
Yeah, I think this cast, I think even not counting the 99 puppies, this cast is much larger of characters and actors than Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland's actors could fit on one screen at the end of the movie.
Yeah, Martha Wentworth was Nanny, Queenie / Lucy. That was the goose. Yeah. Queenie Leonard was Princess. I remember Queenie Leonard. She was the bird / that purple uppity purple flower in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Marjorie Bennett. That sounds familiar as Duchess. Oh, whatever happened to Baby Jane? Jeez. Miss Lark, Mary Poppins. Oh.
Off they go. Aw. Look at them go, little puppies. The car just looks perpetually angry. She is insane.
How you make a regular human being that's scary? I say regular human being is not like a sorcerer or witch or anything. I don't know why I always let that stick out the top.
It's just
like,
cute.
I guess it reminded me of me and my brother.
And off he goes.
And you have more siblings than me. So did it ever feel like you were the puppies in this movie?
I don't know. I was the eldest sibling. Imagine that.
It's like, oh, we are doing the opposite of what we told them to do, but it's important.
That's a that was a sentence.
Out of context, that's quite a sentence.
I would definitely say that it's a different there's a word I'm looking for. It's a different angle when you're doing it with dogs and you're not doing some kind of horrible caricature. And even then, it's not like they're putting up a song and dance. They're just trying to get away from the
or getting those lips on there. You know the ones I mean.
They're not doing a song and dance. They're just trying to hide from the old woman.
Like, yes, dogs is always painting themselves black. A horse is actually the smarter one.
I mean,
it's always seen through their plans.
I mean, in some consideration, you could say that they're doing blackface, but they aren't. I mean, if they were doing blackface and Disney had concerns over that, they would have put a 12-second warning at the front of the movie. But they don't. They probably... I do hope that Disney ran that by a sensitivity department first, of course. Because, like, because it can read that way, you know.
I mean, how else are dogs that are not anthropomorphic going to disguise themselves?
Fizzy, you do not. Let me just where do I remove that message? You do not want that message floating around, Fizzy. No.
Fizzy, what the hell? I saw that.
Fizzy, let's just admit that was a mistake.
I hope you were saying it sarcastically, but it wasn't really written that way. It didn't come off that way.
Intentional? Again, man, this is not a conversation I was hoping to have. Doggone it, movie, why'd you have to go and do that?
It reminds me of the show I watched where the family was trying to find, this white family was trying to find a group Halloween costume. They're like, honey, no one's going to know we're the Obamas. And the 6-year-old girl goes, we could blackface. Oof. No. They didn't. But the parents were like, no. Yeah, I can see it. I mean, look at the way it shimmers there.
Yep, the way they're doing the... Yeah. I have to wonder if they just
go to the corner and think about what you've done.
Anyway, going back to the car for a minute, I have to wonder, oh shit. And then the plot is revealed.
This is moments I need to think about more. Like when people try to disguise themselves and you have to up the tension by having the disguise fall away.
Yep.
As annoying a trope as it is, it's not as exciting if the disguise stays on the whole time.
If they just get away.
Right, you know, my writer's group was right about that.
So here's something interesting, right? I have to wonder, like, for Cruella's car, there's parts that are completely...
Okay, that animation will come back in cat form.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be too surprised if they used the same truck model. But like,
it's definitely the same bones, like, if you know what I mean. I don't know what to call it, but like the same bones.
It's a physical sculpt, so yeah.
I'm talking about with the animation part, with the dogs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think you'd be. Yeah. I think what you would be. And there he goes. Those sparks are really well done.
It'll show when we get to the Aristocats. I'll point it out.
Yeah. I think. Okay, so...
This is just how persistent and relentless she is.
And there's the snow, so the reason the snow looks the way that it does is because they're doing that Xerox stuff. This is basically nothing but stop motion throughout most of that right there.
How did they do this in the live action again? Did they just not do it? Yeah, they did not... No, they did more Home Alone-esque things in the live action movie. in the climax?
They just keep tearing apart her car.
Oh, here we go. The shot.
Yep. It goes by so quickly.
The shot that lives in people's nightmares forever.
As far as movie jump scares, I would not be surprised if that dog was Lucky specifically, because that boy, that lad, that pupperoo has been through it.
I think they said the name, but I didn't quite catch it. We were talking.
Oof. I think he said Purdy. At least I thought that's what he said. Just
might also be Penny, because that's one of the puppies.
That is true. They're just done putting up with her shit.
She actually... Oh, she survives to the sequel.
Yep.
And she's not arrested even until the end of the sequel. Okay, anyway, the way that they took revenge on her in the book, they escape after escaping the house. They're like, well, how do we know that she's not going to do this again to other dogs? And no one's going to hear us out because we're dogs. What they did, they snuck into Cruella's house.
Ooh.
And they tore up all her furs. And when Cruella stepped in, she was so shocked that the black side of her hair turned white, and the white side of her hair turned green.
Ugh. Wild.
It's creative, but I can understand it's probably not as climactic for a movie.
Definitely fanciful and would work in animation, but I guess they really wanted to keep the realness angle. Aww. Oh, so Lucky was the one who got dropped in snow.
Yeah, see what I mean? It couldn't have been Lucky that was falling off of the thing.
Aw. Oof.
We're all dirty, but we don't care.
Yep.
I want to take the time to make sure there's actually 99 in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is his math correct?
Yes.
Not a lot of songs in this movie. I mean, what do you have? You have Cruella de Vil and the Canine Crunchies, and then a Dalmatian Plantation, I guess. Yeah.
I can't imagine all the dog foods and the dog shit, though.
He's made bank from the one song. He'll make more songs.
Okay, but could you imagine cleaning up after all that?
Well, on the barnyard, that'd be easy.
You know, dogs' feces are not compostable.
I think their only reason for using the word plantation is because it rhymes with Dalmatian. Still definitely a song of its time, probably.
Okay, but, you know, plantations still exist. They're just more of a property than an actual...
More of like, if there anyone kept there, it's dogs or any other animals, I guess.
It's a mansion with a bunch of fields, and also, well, if they hadn't torn it down, those homes that belonged to slaves.
Again, really didn't think we were going to get into this discussion with this movie. Oh, but here we go, the movie's over.
This film still holds up. Yeah, kind of, except...
It's good.
I mean, people couldn't fit... Well, it couldn't work in today's economy, that's for sure.
In today's economy. Let's have 101 Dalmatians.
We can barely afford to feed ourselves.
My bad. I disconnected the wrong thing. But yeah. My bad. So that was 101 Dalmatians. What a delightful little movie. It was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed it. It's very cute. The animation is beautiful as always. if nothing else could be said for it, it's like the animation is gorgeous. Your mileage may vary on your enjoyment of it, but if you are undoubtedly a fan, if you are if you're a dog person, if you're a pet owner, if you own a lot of animals, you will love this movie. It's a good movie. It's a great story as well. It's just so it's entirely simple. Tibbs is a Chad. Yes, Tibbs is a Chad. What were your thoughts?
Well, you know, for 1961, they had two pretty egalitarian couples, I'd say, that their relationships just really feel like they're both equal. And
oh yeah, no doubt.
Anita and Roger, and I mean, I don't know. I'm sure Anita does something because it looked like she was doing something on the coffee table.
That is true.
And the you know, the dogs. The Pongo's not being like, oh, I'm the father, I should go rescue the puppies. Like, they go together. There's not even a question about it.
No. It's like, if they had the discussion, they had it off screen, if at all. But it's like, that because that
doesn't sound like it.
Because that wasn't even the point. The whole point was that their family, they're gonna go save them. And Cruella, Jasper, and Horace are all such a fucking delight. Like, Cruella is insane. Jasper and Horace are really a really good pair, really good like Abbott and Costello type duo. It's just great. And
you don't need to have magic powers to be great villains. And I think or I think the last time that happened, right? Like, you know, I mean, you don't need to be an evil queen either. And I think the last time that happened was Cinderella, unless I'm mistaken. Oh, wait a minute. Hook didn't have magic powers either, but he, I don't know, being a pirate, he was still kind of fanciful, you know? Like,
I mean,
wasn't
like,
someone you meet in real life, you know what I mean?
That is true. Of the character that you would most likely meet in real life, the rich bitch would definitely be one, yeah.
Yes, yeah, Cruella is definitely one you meet in real life, and the stepmother. Those are the ones you'd meet in real life.
Suzanne Blakesley as Cruella. Yeah, absolute delight. Just such a personality. Such a big character. Just so great. Choose every bit of scenery entirely. Well, I guess Lady and the Tramp.
Are you talking about Suzanne Blakesley in the sequel, or? You talking about the sequel, Cruella?
Yeah, hang on a minute. Might want to double check that, writer. But yeah, no, just
yeah, because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Cruella is Betty Lou Gerson.
Ah. But yeah,
just I know this from my mom that she did a lot of radio. That's probably how she got the job.
Yeah, because Walt would pull like Ed Wynn and a lot of and Bing Crosby. He would pull a lot of people from radio, you know.
You're right.
Suzanne
Blakesley took over for Cruella with the spin-offs.
With the spin-offs and
including
sequels.
House of Mouse.
Yeah.
I know. Like, she's so good. You could, unless you're really listening, you could barely tell the difference.
That's true. Like, Disney is really persnickety about their voice doubles for characters that need a new voice actor. They're very fickle about that sort of thing.
Get those puppies!
She's really good. All right, but that's gonna be it. Delightful movie, enjoyed it a lot. Thank you all so much for joining us on this beautiful and very intense movie. Like, again, it doesn't always seem like it, but it does get pretty intense. And if you're viewing this after the fact and following along, thanks for watching. Until next time, remember to take care, stay safe, and watch out for any Cruellas on the road. Good night, everybody!